Hello and welcome to Harvard Alpaca Ranch. My name is Matthew Varrell. This is my wife Amy Varrell. We own and operate Harvard Alpaca Ranch here at 58 Old Mill Road in Harvard. We started our farm just about a year ago, moving into town from Holliston, where we lived for 24 years. And we moved to Harvard to kind of start a new phase of our life, which is owning an alpaca farm. And this past April, we received our starter herd of 8 alpacas, 4 females and 4 males, and we'd like to introduce you to them.
Come on.
So these are our female alpacas. This dark one here is Sumi. This one who loves the cookies with a white face, her name is Leah. The white one over there eating the grass is Ava, and this light brown one here is Natalie. And as I said, these are our girls, and they're all available for breeding. We've actually bred Sumi and Natalie, and we're fairly confident that they both currently have babies inside, and they will give, we're hoping they will give birth probably early July of next year. Leah is our friendliest girl, and she's going to go over and say hello. Hey Leah, have a treat. So what we're giving them for treats here are called hay stretchers, and it's really just some compressed hay with a little bit of molasses in it. And Leah is a big fan of them, as are most of the girls, but when they come out here and they get some nice green grass like this, they're pretty content just munching away on the grass.
So we spend a fair amount of time each month taking care of them and addressing some of their health needs to keep them healthy and well. On a monthly basis, we weigh everybody, we trim their toenails, we give shots for deworming, and just give them an overall inspection, make sure everyone's in good physical health. We're excited to share our love of alpacas with everybody. We spent a long time doing research and deciding how we wanted to go about this. We discovered a farm in Unity, Maine called Northern Solstice Alpaca Farm. Well, we were looking at colleges with my younger son, Rusty. We looked at some farms because he was studying sustainable agriculture. And we met this couple, Robin and Corey Pratt, who have an alpaca farm up there that's been around for the last 8 to 10 years. They seem to have a really nice lifestyle. They really love their animals. They gave us a great tour and education. They have become our mentors, and they're available to us at any time, and we have been truly lucky to have them come into our lives. They also, when my son was up there, that also helped influence us for deciding about alpacas. He has a chronic medical condition, and during his first semester away from home was having some difficulty with pain management and stress and taking care of school and academics like anyone does the first time away from home. So it ended up that he started volunteering at Northern Solstice Alpacas. He ended up going there on a daily basis. He found solace there. The animals provided him with some compassion and support, and stress relief. And then his general love of alpacas and our daily updates that we got from him about different trips out to the farm made us really intrigued about, you know, making this a lifestyle that might be meaningful to us as well.
So when we originally chose our starter herd of 8 animals, and we were working with 2 different farms, Northern Solstice Alpaca Farm in Unity and Spudland Alpaca Farm in Blaine, Maine, we were talking to the owners there about animals that they had. In addition to wanting healthy animals that had good fiber, we were also really interested in good personalities and making sure that we had happy animals as well as healthy animals. So in order to help facilitate that, we kind of chose pairs of animals. So of the girls, Natalie and Ava were on the farm together and were friends already, and Sumi and Leah had the same relationship on their farm in Unity. So we wanted to make sure that everybody that came down was sort of a buddy system. There wasn't anyone that was alone. And you can see that here, that Leah and Sumi tend to hang out side by side. They're best of friends. And Natalie and Ava don't have quite as close a relationship, but they knew each other coming here. And it was the same thing with the boys, 2 and 2. And that was important to us to make sure that our animals, when they got here, we minimized the stress as much as we could to keep them happy. So these are our 2 of our boys here. The lighter colored one, this guy right here, his name is Ivan. And he's going to spit at me because he seems to be in a bad mood, but he wants his treats anyways. And this other guy, the dark brown guy, this is Windjammer. We call him Jammer. Hello there, yes. So these 2 guys are actually brothers, and they also come from Northern Solstice Alpaca Farm. They're half brothers. They have the same dad. Their dad's name is Ludicrous. And these 2 will be our 2 herd sires on the farm. They're not ready to breed just yet. We're hoping that Jammer may be ready soon, within the next month or so, or he may not be ready till next summer. And Ivan's he just turned a year old, so he's still considered sort of not quite a baby, but he's got at least another year before he's ready to breed. But these 2 alpacas have, as you can tell, a great disposition other than the occasional spit. And they also have really great fiber. Windjammer, when he's got all his fiber on him, come next spring, he really looks like an Ewok. He has so much fiber on his face. And we actually, when we had him sheared, we took 5 inches of fiber off of his blanket, which is over his back, which is really a tremendous amount of fiber. So the other 2 boys that we have up in the pasture that don't typically have the same interest in the treats that these 2 boys do are Charlie and Eric. And those 2 boys are actually both geldings. So they won't, that means they've been fixed and they won't be having any babies in the future. But they're also really nice alpacas, and we will get a hold of one and we can meet him up close and personal, one of those 2 guys, shortly. So you can see with Ivan, alpacas love to roll in the dust, and you can see how dusty Ivan is, because they'll happily stand out in the rain overnight and then in the morning go find a dry spot and roll it around in the dust and get caked in mud. So we use a small halter that's similar to a halter you'd put on a horse, although it doesn't have a bit, and a lead. And we can talk a little bit about sort of the conformation of alpacas. So alpacas are in the camelid family, meaning that they're related to camels, llamas, and they're actually descended from an animal called the vicuna, in South America in the Andes Mountains. And sort of what you look for with an alpaca for sort of body conformation is you're looking for sort of a compact body with sort of the neck, the back, and the legs sort of being all in good proportion. And Ivanhoe is a good example of that as far as sort of his body shape, as is Windjammer. They're ruminids, so they ruminate on the grasses that they eat, and you'll see them. Sometimes they'll just be sitting in the grass and kind of just hanging out, and then you'll see them bring something up into their mouth that's just some partially digested grass from their stomach, and they'll just kind of hang out and chew on that for a while before they go get some more. So on each foot, you can try and get a look at Ivan's foot here.
Yeah, bud.
Okay, buddy, come here. Stand. So another thing with alpaca, so they only have teeth on the bottom, and you might be able to take a look at his teeth here. So they just have teeth on the bottom because, again, all they're eating is grass. They're not going to go after anything else. Males do grow fighting teeth, but each year when we have the animals sheared, we have those teeth filed down, so in case the males do get into a little bit of a battle, they won't do any harm to each other. So we can talk a little bit about the fleece of the alpaca. So alpacas get sheared just once a year, and typically that happens in the early to mid-spring. The reason for that is you don't want them going through a warm summer such as we have in Massachusetts, basically wearing a thick fur coat through the whole summer. So our alpacas got sheared in May. We had a professional shearer come and do that job for us. And the shearer basically takes it off, takes the fiber off in 3 different sections. The blanket, which is on the back here, the sides and the back, is taken off basically all in one piece. Then the neck is done, and that's called seconds, or sort of second quality fiber. And then the thirds are the legs and the belly and around the face. And the back is called the blanket. As I said, it's taken off all pretty much in one piece. And that's really the best fiber. And for ours, we're having that fiber milled into yarn at a small mill down in Connecticut called Still River Mill. And we'll be getting that yarn back probably towards the end of the year or early next year in different forms. So that's pretty much, we'll have yarn from each of the individual animals come back. Other than, actually, ironically, Ivanhoe's hasn't been sent in yet because his fleece is actually going to be put into a show so that he can compete with other alpacas to see just how good his fleece is. And we're confident that it's a pretty good fleece, but we'll see. That'll be in a show this fall. Some of the other uses for the fleece, the seconds off of the neck for all our animals was combined, and that's going to be turned into rug yarn, and we're actually having that same mill weave a couple of rugs for us. And then the thirds, we had 26 pounds of what was considered thirds, or the lower quality fiber. We put that all together and we sent that to the New England Alpaca Fiber Pool in Fall River. And they collect fiber, all different qualities of fiber from all over the state and all over New England and beyond. And they manufacture alpaca products with that of all sorts. Socks, boot liners, hats, pretty much anything you can imagine. And then we're able to purchase those products back and have those for sale in our shop. Similar to the girls, when we were selecting the boys, again, we got them in pairs. So Windjammer and Ivanhoe, being half brothers, obviously they knew each other and were fairly close. And Charlie and Eric being the two-tone boy here, and Charlie, the white one on the far side, they came from Spudland and were also familiar with each other. The reason why we got 2 gelded males was, one, we wanted to have an equal number of boys and girls to start. We were looking again for friendly animals that we could potentially use for visitors both here on the farm and taking animals out to places, potentially to schools, nursing homes, things like that, opportunities for animal therapy. We thought certainly Eric was a good candidate for that. But the other big reason is in the future when we do start having babies, which are known as crias, baby alpacas are known as crias, in the event that we end up having the inevitable time where we'll have a baby boy, he may not be able to be put in with intact males, and having the gelded males, typically they're a little bit more low key, and you can put in a youngster with them and it's a little bit safer. So again, that was an important part of our thought process in selecting the animals, was thinking ahead of the time when we did have cria on the ground, and that we had the proper situation for them to be with. But certainly when they first came, them having sort of that buddy system was very beneficial to them.
We just wanted to take a moment to show you around some of our store, but the first thing that I wanted to show you is some of the raw fiber. This fiber actually came up from Ivan, the little one that's been a camera hog all morning. So you can see this is some of his beautiful fiber. These are his second cut fiber. His first are all boxed up for a show. It has, Ivan has some really nice crimp, which is important. They love, it's one of the things that they get judged on, some nice luster and some brightness here. I just enjoy it so much, touching their fiber and sorting through it and everything. It's a lot of fun. And this is really our bread and butter. So it's what we work all year for, to turn into, some finished products that we can sell and have people enjoy. So some of the products that we carry here in the store, as you can see, is I have a large variety of socks of different levels, some weights. We have some lightweight dress socks all the way to heavyweight ski socks and anything in between. We have ankle length, we have knee length, we have a giant variety of different styles. We have some of our products from Neef here, which is where we sent a lot of our fiber to. These bags are an example of what would be made with some of their second and third cut fiber, which is what we sent off to them. These are all hats and gloves from Neef as well. We do have a little bit of yarn left. These are from the animals on our farm. We've sold out most of what we had, but like I said earlier, they're at the mill getting made into more for us. These are Natalie's yarn, and this is Eric's yarn. We have our Harvard Alpaca Ranch t-shirts, which both Matt and I have been sporting throughout all of the interviews today. I have lots of different hats. We have note cards with our two boys, Ivan and Windjammer, on them. Matt actually entered this photo into a contest and won second prize at the contest through the Alpaca, the National Alpaca organization. You can see throughout the store we have hats, we have mittens, we have gloves, we have teddy bears, we have some small felted animals as well. This is just another way of putting together alpaca fiber. So we have felted ornaments, boot liners to keep your feet warm all winter. This is another example of the stuff from the New England Alpaca Fiber Pool, and the third quality. You can make these from the fiber that we sent to them.